It would be irresponsible and speculative to link her death to the donation process, but the autopsy also didn't rule it out. Manitoba Health Minister Uzoma Asseguera echoed that caution, but said Health Canada's investigations found problems with the donation process that need to be addressed.
And so we've been very clear with Canada. Those concerns must be addressed immediately.
The minister says banning paid plasma is still a discussion, but won't be as a result of these deaths. Cameron McLean, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Winnipeg police say they've disrupted a major drug trafficking network. 33 people arrested, more than $37 million worth of drugs seized, hitting the upper echelon of organized crime in Canada. It's the single largest drug bust in Manitoba history and includes ties to the Hells Angels and the Mexican cartels. CBC's Rosanna Hempel has what we know about the years-long investigation so far.
Cocaine, fentanyl and meth, cash, illegal cigarettes and 14 firearms. Police lay out what came from a 2-year investigation spanning multiple provinces.
Organized crime will not operate unchecked in this province.
Police say it's the biggest drug bust in Manitoba's history, worth about $37 million.
Directly or indirectly, the drug trade in our community impacts every single one of us. And this ecosystem of chaos is dependent on one thing: the constant supply and distribution of massive amounts of drugs into our community.
Now, Winnipeg police say they've disrupted a powerful criminal network with ties to Hells Angels and Mexican cartels.
The objective was not only to disrupt and dismantle these networks, but also to gather intelligence and evidence relating to the higher-level members of the organization.
Named Project Puma, police worked with law enforcement in Alberta and Ontario. 33 people have been arrested, 29 from Manitoba, mostly from Winnipeg.
Of those arrested, 7 individuals have pled guilty, receiving sentences ranging from 3 to 16 years.
The investigation began in May 2024. Police say drugs were being smuggled into Ontario from the U.S. on commercial vehicles, then distributed throughout Manitoba and northwestern Ontario by mail and commercial trucks and hidden compartments in private vehicles. The majority of these drugs were seized in late April in Vaughan, north of Toronto, and Winnipeg.
The removal of these drugs, along with a significant amount of currency and numerous illegal firearms, represents a meaningful disruption to organized crime networks and their ability to cause harm.
Police credit the Manitoba Criminal Intelligence Center for helping fund the work behind hundreds of court orders and warrants. Investigators are looking for 2 more suspects from Brantford, Ontario. Rosanna Hempel, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Should Manitobans stop changing their clocks twice a year? Only time and a survey will tell. The province wants you to weigh in. A survey is asking if you want permanent daylight time, permanent standard time, or if you want to keep changing those clocks. BC and Alberta have already stopped the clock, sticking with permanent daylight time. Ontario has passed its own legislation, but it depends on what neighboring provinces and states plan to do. You can find the survey on the future of time change in Manitoba at engagemb.ca/time change on the province's website. Students heard from the billionaire founder of a surgery technology company. His tools are now used worldwide and here in Manitoba. As CBC's Josh Crabb reports, their medical devices have been credited for helping high-profile athletes with injuries, and even got a well-known Winnipeg Jet back on the ice.
When Connor Hellebuck suffered a knee injury this past season, the Winnipeg Jets goalie had arthroscopic surgery.
He had a meniscal tear just a few weeks before the Olympics.
Reinhold Schmieding's company played a role in that procedure. On Wednesday, students at University of Manitoba heard from him. Specialized equipment made by Arthrex has been credited for helping Hellebuck make a faster recovery. The surgical tools are smaller and less invasive. The Jets orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Peter McDonald, did the operation.
It was the first time we'd used this particular type of scope, a very small scope called a nanoscope, less than half the size of a regular scope. So in this sense, it was an opportunity to get them back a little bit faster, and it all worked out.
Schmieding founded the company which made those scopes in Munich, Germany in 1981. He grew the business from a small drafting table which he used to make medical tools.
There was no FDA at the time in Germany, so we tried them on patients, until they worked. Of course, we can't do that today, but that's how it was back then. We call it the Wild West.
His talk inspired U of M accounting and finance student Medhavan Kapoor.
4 decades back, he started from zero and he started with the $10 table.
Now, Schmieding's company has thousands of employees, billions in revenue, and supplies the world with orthopedic surgery devices and technology.
It's nice to share what's possible, right? And then also what's possible as a private company.
He used his visit to Manitoba to show off state-of-the-art video renderings for the expansion of a Winnipeg sports injury clinic.
This is going to be the future of the Pan Am Clinic.
The future Pan Am Clinic will be located in the Medical Center of Excellence at the redeveloped Portage Place, but this design is only preliminary.
We're not ready to say that's a concrete reality yet, but we're working very hard with government and with True North to make this happen.
The renderings show what's possible to make the facility state-of-the-art, as the project is still in the planning stage, according to McDonald, who's a strategic partner at the clinic. Josh Crabb, CBC News, Winnipeg.
The public portion of the inquiry into Winnipeg's police headquarters project is wrapping up this week. The final public hearing takes place this Friday. The commissioner says the inquiry had to reduce its scope in order to remain within its budget. Hearings took place over 27.5 days instead of the original planned 48. The number of witnesses was reduced from 34 to 30. The commissioner has until the end of the year to write a final report. All right, Riley, and now, Riley, I was saying you're no longer persona non grata. People are smiling when they see you thanks to the weather forecast.
Yeah, as I always say, if you don't like the weather, wait 15 minutes, wait a half an hour, wait a day. Boy, what a difference a day makes in southern Manitoba. 18 degrees as forecast this afternoon in Winnipeg. 18s, 19s through much of the west, 21 in Melita this afternoon. So inching closer to seasonal. We should be around 21 degrees in southern Manitoba. Thompson even getting to 16 degrees through the afternoon. The trade-off being a little bit of instability starting to push into the province. You can see some of that on satellite and radar through the afternoon hours here, pushing into the Red River Valley. Some cloud cover starting to build in as well. And if we take a closer look, you can see out of some of this, even a couple of lightning strikes near St. Francis Xavier, near Portage la Prairie, for example, through the afternoon. I'm not expecting this to amount to much as we head into the evening hours. I think we have a better chance of seeing some showers or some thunderstorms as we head through the overnight hours. A low around 9 degrees in Winnipeg. That's warmer than our daytime high was yesterday. A chance of showers carries us into the morning, Brittany, and looking at 20 degrees tomorrow afternoon, and a big warm-up coming as we get into the long-range forecast. I'll have that coming up.
All right, those are better temperatures.
Yes.
Thank you, Riley.
You're welcome.
Finding inspiration in the chaos. How these musicians are using their wildfire experience to inspire new music. We'll have more on that next. Manitoba is hoping a new trade representative will help bolster business abroad. The province says it's hiring an envoy who will be headquartered in India and help grow Manitoba's economy. CBC's Bryce Hoy joins us. And Bryce, what can you tell us about the announcement?
Brittany, Trade Minister Jamie Moses wants to build Manitoba's economy through connections with India. So the province is posting this job for a trade rep there. Now, they haven't hired anyone yet, but once they do, this representative is going to be tasked with developing connections, garnering market intelligence, courting investors, and expanding the province's reach into the Indian economy, all in an effort, the minister says, to make Manitoba less reliant on its not-so-reliable U.S. trade partner.
You know that India has a very fast-growing economy, a lot of business connections right here to Manitoba. And so as we continue to tell that Manitoba story to a global market, India is going to be our next stop to expanding our global presence.
Now, the minister's office says the job will pay $150,000 Canadian a year, all in, about a third of what Manitoba is paying its U.S.-based trade rep, Richard Madden.
So, Bryce, what do the opposition Progressive Conservatives have to say about the India trade rep?
Well, Tory economic development critic Conrad Narth questions how effective this new trade rep will be. He wants Manitoba to have a single office for trade approvals and business expansions.
It's the business environment in our province that is holding back development, expansion, and investment from outside our province to settle in Manitoba. That's the problem.
Narth says Manitobans need to get results from their international trade offices and expect the province to provide regular progress reports. Brittany.
All right, thank you. That's CBC's Bryce Hoy. Northern communities are still dealing with the toll of last summer's devastating fires. In Flin Flon, some local musicians are using their experiences to inspire new music and help the community move forward. CBC's Eric.
It's Saturday night, and for Flin Flon band Rock Cut, it's a great night to rock. The band planned to play their first shows in Winnipeg last year. Those plans changed in late May. Members had to flee the north due to fire, and when they came back, their home recording space in nearby Denier Beach was destroyed.
To have those physical things, it really sucks to lose them. It's a piece of your heart gone.
CC Trubiak ended up at a rural Saskatchewan campground during his evacuation. He didn't have his guitar or record collection, but he did bring a notepad and started writing songs to pass the time.
I needed to find a way to turn all of my fears, my anxieties, my devastation about what was going on for all of us into something.
The fire helped inspire both Trubiak and Rock Cut to make new music. Rock Cut's members practiced at home, then rented a studio in Winnipeg. That's led to new songs, new gigs, and plans to shoot music videos this summer.
We saw the best come out in people during this difficult time, and it really makes you grateful for the kindness of people.
Trubiak ended up writing a whole new album called Jukebox in Exile. It comes out June 5th. Some of the proceeds will go towards a rebuilding fund in Denier Beach. Trubiak sees it as a love letter to his hometown.
I have felt so blessed to be in Flin Flon as an artist, and the support that the community has for me as an artist is not lost on me, and this album is sort of what I want to give back.
This town had hard days, and Flin Flon needed music. Now the songs are back, and with them, healing. Eric Westaver, CBC News, Flin Flon.
A critical space at the HSC Children's Hospital is getting a makeover. Colorful artwork will soon be featured across the newly renovated CK5, a ward that provides inpatient services for children with cancer, blood disorders, and transplants. The pilot project was announced earlier this year. Out of 165 submissions from around the world, 20 artists and their work have been selected and will be featured on the walls.
It's important to give the children at the hospital hope and comfort, because staying at the hospital can be very stressful. So if they have a beautiful mural to look at and escape to sometimes, that means a lot.
This project is part of a larger plan to reimagine more than 70 inpatient rooms at one of the oldest children's hospitals in Canada. Southwestern Ontario is cleaning up after a line of severe thunderstorms ripped through the region last night. Winds reached speeds of at least 90 kilometers an hour, with Environment Canada issuing thunderstorm and tornado warnings for the City of London and surrounding areas. Meteorologists reported the possibility of 2 tornadoes, but they say it will take days to confirm whether one actually touched down. The warnings have since been lifted, but the damage is significant. London received dozens of reports of downed trees, and thousands of customers lost power. All right, Riley, and now when I was saying just a little bit earlier that people are actually smiling when they're coming over to talk to you, it's a little bit of a change. Riley is well loved here, but your forecast, not always.
No, especially when, normal high for this time of the year, 21 degrees, and we're not even out of the single digits.
No.
In some cases. Today was a little bit better. But if you like the warmer temperatures, you'll like what you see in the long-range forecast. So give it a few days. We'll reset things here. In between now and then, a little bit of instability will push through the province, and you can see some of that starting to move in on satellite and radar right now. A band of showers, a couple of thunderstorms embedded into some of this as it pushes into the Red River Valley and parts of the southern Interlake. This is all part of a weak system that'll push across the province as we get through the overnight hours tonight. Northern Manitoba under the influence of high pressure, keeping things sunny for the most part today as well, and also a lot warmer than it has been in some parts of northern Manitoba. As we put Futurecast in motion here, you can see some of that instability developing as we get through the overnight hours. I've stopped it at 3 o'clock in the morning. You can see some showers and some periods of rain developing through parts of south central Manitoba into the Winnipeg and Interlake regions. Likely some embedded thunderstorms in some of this. I'm not talking anything overly severe, but you could get woken up by a couple of rumbles of thunder overnight. Then the attention shifts into parts of the Parkland and the Interlake, where we'll see most of this instability traveling into northern Manitoba as we get through the rest of the day on Thursday into Friday. And then there's another system in behind this one a bit more potent that'll likely bring us some rain, at least for the first half of Saturday at this point right now. And then some much warmer air starts to build in behind this. So for the first round that comes through the overnight hours, this is really 5 to 10 millimeters at best. We will get a bit more as that next system works its way through as we get overnight Friday before it tapers off on Saturday. And this will give us a good shot of some moisture as we get through at least the first half of the weekend. Then we start to turn the page as we get through the back half of the weekend, and I'll show you some of those temperatures coming up in just a moment here. But thunderstorm risk overnight into Thursday, even lingering into the day on Thursday for parts of the Parkland and the Interlake. Really, like I mentioned, nothing overly severe, but we could see some gusty winds, the potential there for some downpours where you could get up to 30 millimeters of rain. So just keep your eyes on the skies. Could get woken up, like I said, by a couple of rumbles of thunder through the overnight hours. Starting the morning tomorrow, around 11 degrees over through much of southern Manitoba, 7 in Gimli, 7s and 8s into the Parkland, 6 in Thompson first thing in the morning. Then as we get into the long range, looking at a couple of windy days ahead, 21 degrees into the afternoon on Friday, Brittany. And there's that warm up I've been teasing coming as we get through the back half of the weekend into early next week.
Never been more excited for a Monday. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, with those nicer temperatures come some of those buds in the leaves, which is so nice to see those starting to come in. We have much more ahead right after this. Stay with us. Prime Minister Mark Carney is in British Columbia on what some might call a fence-mending mission. He held a closed-door meeting with Premier David Eby, who's been critical of an agreement Carney signed with Alberta last week. The CBC's David Thurton reports.
Lately, Mark Carney and David Eby haven't been seeing eye to eye, something BC's Premier addressed head-on.
There's no doubt in my mind but that the Prime Minister is a friend to British Columbia. And an important part of friendship is telling each other the truth.
The Prime Minister and the BC Premier held their first meeting since Ottawa and Alberta signed another deal committing to building a potential pipeline to BC's west coast as early as next year.
The proposed West Coast oil pipeline would transport more than 1 million barrels of oil per day.
A move those two leaders said is aimed at showing Canada can work for Albertans. But it came amid growing calls for the province to leave Canada and the prospect of a fall referendum on the issue.
Really, we're left alienated at the cost of Alberta.
With concerns a West Coast pipeline will bring oil tankers to the North Coast, BC's Indigenous leaders say the energy accord between Alberta and Ottawa divides more than it unites.
Who's left out of the conversation is the province of BC, and First Nations in BC have been left out of the conversation.
But not all British Columbians feel that way.
I would say the vibe in British Columbia is complicated. There is much stronger support for an oil pipeline than there was 15 years ago, even within British Columbia. But that support varies a lot between rural and urban. It depends on the path, a North Coast path versus a South Coast path.
Amid those differences, the Prime Minister attempted to address the varied concerns.
We are building BC strong so we can build Canada strong.
Carney telling this audience a pipeline is not a done deal.
The pipeline will only be advanced with the following prerequisites being met.
Those prerequisites include Alberta advancing a carbon capture and storage project called Pathways and respecting the constitutional duty to consult First Nations, which Carney said is non-negotiable. David Thurton, CBC News, Ottawa.
Canada's Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand is summoning Israel's ambassador after a video emerged showing that country's national security minister taunting activists who were detained aboard ships carrying aid for Gaza.
What we've seen, including the video shared by Itamar Ben-Gvir, is deeply troubling and absolutely unacceptable.
Video posted shows Itamar Ben-Gvir standing and shouting in a room where detainees have been bound and forced to kneel. More than 400 activists, including several Canadians, were detained after Israel intercepted dozens of aid ships trying to reach Gaza through an Israeli naval blockade. Israel's Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, says Israel had the right to stop what he called Hamas terrorist supporters. But he condemned his minister's actions, saying his conduct is not in line with Israel's values and norms. Several other countries, including Italy, France, and the Netherlands, are also summoning Israeli ambassadors over the video. The U.S. government has filed murder charges against Raul Castro, the former president of Cuba, in connection with the death of American citizens 3 decades ago. It's part of the Trump administration's ongoing pressure campaign for regime change in the communist Caribbean nation. And it's raising expectations U.S. forces might swoop into Havana to arrest the still powerful 94-year-old. The CBC's Chris Reyes reports.
Today, we are announcing an indictment charging Raul Castro and several others with conspiracy to kill U.S. nationals.
Those U.S. nationals, 3 American citizens and 1 U.S. permanent resident, were killed when their unarmed civilian aircraft was shot down by the Cuban military in 1996. The men were on a humanitarian mission called Brothers to the Rescue, patrolling waters for stranded Cuban rafters who may be fleeing the country. Raul Castro was the Minister of Defense at the time. His brother, Fidel Castro, took power in Cuba's 1959 communist revolution and ruled the country for 5 decades. The Cuban government has long defended their actions, arguing that the flight was in Cuban airspace. The U.S. and a UN watchdog have asserted that the plane was in international airspace. The charges also include murder and names other individuals connected to the shooting.
President Trump is committed to restoring a very simple but important principle. If you kill Americans, we will pursue you, no matter who you are, no matter what title you hold, and in this case, no matter how much time has passed.
The U.S. has intensified its economic sanctions against Cuba in recent months, following the capture of Venezuelan's fallen leader Nicolas Maduro in January on drug-related charges. Since then, the U.S. has blocked Cuba's access to Venezuelan oil, leading to massive fuel shortages and nationwide blackouts. President Donald Trump called the indictment an important moment, but not an escalation of tensions.
It's a failing nation. You see that it's falling apart. They have no oil. They have no money. It's a failing nation, so I just can't tell you that. But we're there to help. We're there to help the families.
By many accounts, Raul Castro remains an influential figure in Cuban politics. Acting AG Todd Blanche didn't share details on how the former Cuban leader would be brought into custody, only saying that it will depend on the circumstances. He added that Castro will be expected to show up in a U.S. court by his own will or by another way. Chris Reyes, CBC News, New York.
The World Health Organization says the number of suspected Ebola cases in Central Africa has now risen to 600, with more than 130 deaths. The WHO says the rare strain of the virus has probably been spreading undetected in the eastern part of the Democratic Republic of Congo for the past 2 months. And helping the region manage the outbreak will be far from easy. CBC's Crystal Gamansing explains why.
The World Health Organization says Ebola cases will continue to rise, but that the outbreak currently does not meet the criteria of a pandemic. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus says the global risk is low, while the regional risk is high. In addition to the rare strain of Ebola spreading, the eastern province of the Democratic Republic of Congo, at the center of the outbreak, is also dealing with a challenging security situation.
Ituri province has been marred with conflict for some years, but the last few months was even very intense. In April, I think the highest number of civilians killed, and more than 100,000 people newly displaced. And displacement means not only displacement of the population, but of course, including the health workers.
The Director General said that understanding the situation on the ground is critical, and that adds to the need for global cooperation to ensure continued quality health care, along with virus testing, infection countermeasures, and providing people with good information about Ebola. As therapeutics go, the best possible vaccine candidate is still several months away.
There is a RSV Bundibugyo vaccine. So this would be the equivalent of Ervebo, which would be specific for Bundibugyo. There are no doses of this which are currently available for clinical trial. So this needs to be prioritized as the most promising Bundibugyo candidate vaccine. The information that we have is that this is likely to take 6 to 9 months.
More than 3,000 Canadians are registered as being in the DR of Congo and Uganda. At this point, Global Affairs Canada says it is not aware of any Canadian affected by the outbreak. Crystal Gamansing, CBC News, London.
Now, late Wednesday afternoon, health officials in Ontario said a patient is now being assessed in hospital following recent travel to East Africa. Out of an abundance of caution, that person is being tested for a range of possible infections, including Ebola, with all infection control measures in place. However, neither the hospital they're in or their location was noted. But health officials emphasize there remains no confirmed cases of Ebola in Ontario. A new report warns the world is not ready for the next pandemic. Karen Pauls explains why and looks at how prepared Canada is.
As Ebola spreads in Central Africa, and public health officials are still dealing with a deadly outbreak of Andes hantavirus, this warning.
We definitely are not ready for the next pandemic.
A new report from a WHO-appointed board says there's still not equitable access to diagnostics, vaccines, and therapeutics, putting everyone at risk.
COVID told us that, pandemics don't observe borders.
This expert says the frequency of these zoonotic or animal-to-human viruses is increasing.
Mother Nature is not being coy with us. She's telling us exactly what she has planned for us.
First, there was SARS in 2002, then MERS, Ebola, COVID-19, Mpox, and H5N1.
We have to recognize that this is a new normal.
All this as the United States has slashed funding for vaccine research and withdrawn from the WHO. Virologists like this one are worried.
Because we're effectively going into a situation where it's like everyone for themselves. We're going to be in real trouble if a virus emerges someplace where we're not equipped to deal with it.
During the COVID-19 pandemic, Canada had outdated plans, weak data sharing systems, and poorly managed vaccine stockpiles. But the Public Health Agency says it's addressed those vulnerabilities.
There's a lot of emphasis going into public health research and preparedness. No one country and no one lab will be able to do this all by themselves.
And that's why the report has 3 urgent recommendations. Establish a permanent, independent body to track pandemic risk. Finalize an agreement to share vaccines, tests, and treatments. And sustainable funding for prevention, preparedness, and response. Karen Pauls, CBC News, Winnipeg.
It's a unique and immersive dining experience where not everything appears as it is. We'll explain after the break. A restaurant southeast of Winnipeg is serving up an unusual dish, a meal where dessert is dinner and dinner is dessert. It's called Alice in Blunderland. CBC's Christopher Garreau traveled through the Looking Glass to Bloomnordt to witness the culinary performance firsthand.
Why, hello, Alice.
Oh, hi, Mad Hatter.
The rabbit hole leads to Grandpa's Cafe in Bloomnordt.
We'll begin with a spin into my world creation.
The restaurant southeast of Winnipeg aims to be a destination drawing visitors this summer. Events manager Rena Nurbas is organizing Alice in Blunderland, an upside-down dinner party.
We'd have characters, and we'd have the supper would be dessert. It would look like an imposter meal, and then the dessert would be supper, and we would just really confuse the people.
This may look like cherry pie, but it's actually pasta. Owner Cornelius Petcow says he looks forward to his event manager's ideas.
She comes up with some weird ideas sometimes, and then I think they're weird, and later on they're good. They turn out good.
Petcow and his brother Ron were inspired to open the Mexican fusion restaurant, named for their dad, after growing up in Mexico and missing the southern cuisine. Starting as a way to feed his PBX trucking drivers on Saturdays, he soon realized it could be an opportunity for Bloomnordt. So he went all in. He's also planning a concert and truck show for July.
For here, this is just a start, and the dreams never quit.
I must say, the pasta trees are in season.
Yeah.
Don't be late for a very important date. Dinner through the Looking Glass is May 31st. Christopher Garreau, CBC News, Bloomnordt.
Well, Riley, after the dust storm, after the frost, after the flurries, after those colder temperatures, it's not just people that are happy about this sunny weather, but all the pets, the pups that have to go outside and a nicer dog walk in the forecast.
It was a chilly one this morning, bottoming out in the pre-dawn hours around -2 in Winnipeg last night. With a bit of frost reported, which was expected as we went into the night last night. We're behind that now. Things looking a lot warmer, Brittany, as we get into the day tomorrow. Here's your dog walking forecast, and you know who I have a sneaking suspicion is going to like some of these warmer temperatures? Kiva and Ryan look like maybe they're perhaps more suited to the outdoors when it's warm outside. Thank you, Maureen, for sending this picture. And please keep sending me your spring dog walk photos. We could always use more to talk back at cbc.ca. Expect things to be a little on the windy side as we get through the day tomorrow. Not overly windy like what we saw last week, but south 20 gusting to 40 as we get through the afternoon. Temperatures around 20 degrees. We'll start to get a bit of sunshine back as we get through the day, but clouds featuring quite prominently throughout the day tomorrow. And behind this, like I was mentioning earlier, we do get into some warmer air. So looking big picture, I showed you this last night where we saw some temperatures in parts of Ontario that were bordering or at the 30-degree mark through the day yesterday. Well, a bit of a reality check back towards seasonal through Toronto and Windsor, 21, 22 degrees. A lot of that heat still off onto the eastern seaboard. Halifax at 30 this afternoon, New York 34. Back into parts of Western Canada, 19s and 18s. You can start to see where that ridge is starting to build in the jet stream. That's going to pull in some warmer southerly air into the prairie provinces and into parts of the plain states, and that's going to warm things up as we get toward the weekend. Bismarck, 22 degrees. Vancouver, Seattle, 18s and 19s through the afternoon. So as we get through the overnight hours, no risk of frost tonight because these temperatures well above zero through the overnight hours. Looking at temperatures around 8-9 degrees through much of southern Manitoba overnight. A fairly good chance of showers, maybe a couple of isolated thunderstorms through the overnight hours. We'll see the wind starting to pick up slightly as we get through the night tonight. 6 overnight in Dauphin and Roblin, 4 in Swan River, 3s and 4s through the Pas, OCN into Flin Flon overnight tonight, 2 in Thompson. Much of the province actually staying above the freezing mark, save for far northern parts of the province and along the Hudson Bay coast, Gillam and Shamattawa down to -4 through the overnight hours. Getting back into the double digits, close to or at 20 degrees for much of northern Manitoba tomorrow, and back into a mainly sunny sky for much of the north as we get through the day tomorrow. Winds lighter tomorrow in northern Manitoba than the south, that's for sure, with that southeasterly breeze sending some warmer air in. Here's some of that shower activity. Could see some of that into Winnipeg and parts of the Red River Valley first thing in the morning, but a lot of that into the Interlake as we get through the morning hours, and we'll see a persistent chance through the West Brittany as we get through the day tomorrow. Some showers and temperatures hovering around the 20-degree mark for most through the day tomorrow.
All right. Thank you, Riley.
You're welcome.
Many Canadians are caught in a vicious cycle, trying to care for kids, aging parents, loved ones, and finding themselves not getting the help they need. According to a new report from the Canadian Centre for Caregiving Excellence, caregivers in the country are at a crisis point. They're facing immense financial, physical, and emotional strain. James Gennaro is the Director of Policy and Government Relations with the Centre and joins me now. Thanks for being here, James.
Thanks for the opportunity.
So, James, the report says caregivers and care providers are the backbone of Canada's health and social care systems, yet they don't have the supports they need to thrive. What are we seeing across the country right now?
So caregivers are all of us. A quarter of all Canadians are caregivers today. Half of all Canadian women are caregivers already today in 2026, and eventually half of all Canadians will be a caregiver. And the unfortunate reality, as we see in our report that we just released, is that caregivers are not doing well from a financial perspective, a mental health perspective, physical health perspective. As you say, caregivers are the backbone of our social care systems and our healthcare systems, and they're desperately crying out for help.
So many of our systems seem to be relying on unpaid caregivers, whether those are spouses or kids. So do we have numbers to support what people are experiencing?
So we do. For example, in Manitoba, we know that 65% of caregivers have experienced some form of financial hardship as a result of their caregiving responsibilities, yet only 10% have accessed the limited financial supports that are available. That's just one example. I'll give you another. 74% of caregivers in Manitoba said that the person for whom they're providing care hasn't accessed any sort of support to which they might be entitled. So there are some supports out there, but unfortunately, the reality on the ground is that the lion's share of caregivers across the country, and including in Manitoba, have not actually accessed what's there. And when they try to access what's there, they find a litany of barriers that they didn't expect to find when they actually take that step.
I want to get back to that support because that is a huge part of this. And we know that caring for someone comes at a massive cost. And it's not just that financial cost that we were just touching on there. What kind of burnout are we seeing right now?
So unfortunately, our report tells us that 77% of caregivers tell us that they've experienced some sort of negative impact on them as a result of their care responsibilities. That could include a negative impact on their well-being, but also their financial well-being, as well as burnout and stress. The level of anxiety in this population is very high. The level of depression and other kind of symptoms of burnout, unfortunately, they tend to be trending in the wrong direction. Of more and more caregivers telling us that they are at their breaking point and in need of support desperately.
So James, if you could pick a couple topics right now, where do we go from here? How do we even begin to start fixing this?
So I would say the number one thing is, if you're a caregiver out there today, number one thing is you are not alone. It may feel like you're alone. It may feel like this is a solo act you're living through. Please do reach out for help to the systems in your community, but also to your friends, your neighbors, your loved ones, your colleagues. Talk to your employer about whether you can get some help at work to help you with balancing work and care. So point number one is you are not alone. Please do not try to do this alone. By the time you ask for help, it's unfortunately often too late and you're already burnt out and past the edge. So please do ask for help. That's number one. Number two is, if you're interested in joining the fight, I would say please call up your member of parliament, call up your MLA, call up your elected officials and say that caregivers are out there. We need support, and the thing we need most is financial support. There's a role for the federal government in this, and there's a role for the provincial government in this. So please reach out, speak to your elected officials and tell them that this is a priority for you as a caregiver or somebody who might have a caregiver in your life.
The help is out there. Reach out. James, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
To a developing story out of BC now. The home of the newly elected president of Cricket Canada in Surrey was the target of a shooting early this morning, the Fifth Estate has now learned. At least 5 bullet holes could be seen in the door, windows, and exterior of the home. The shooting happened early Wednesday morning. Police say people were inside at the time, but no one was injured. Arvinder Kosa confirmed it was his home but wouldn't provide any further details when reached by phone. Police say the shooting is believed to be extortion related. Cricket Canada was the focus of a Fifth Estate investigation last month that found broader allegations of corruption, influence by organized crime, and attempts to fix parts of matches by major figures at Cricket Canada. Those accused deny the allegations. It also revealed Kosa was connected to local players who claimed to be part of the Bishnoi gang and had allegedly threatened a national men's player in 2025. He's denied those allegations. For more on this developing story, you can, of course, head to our website now. Still ahead, university students from across Canada battle it out on the water. But these canoes come with a fairly hefty catch. We'll explain when we come back.
few passing showers making their way through the Red River Valley into parts of the Interlake. Couple of stray lightning strikes out of some of this as well. This is all coming along with some instability that'll give us a fairly good chance of showers overnight. Risk of isolated thunderstorms through parts of western Manitoba and into the Red River Valley. So just keep your eyes on the skies through the night tonight. Could wake up to a bit of wetness into the early morning hours tomorrow. Things a bit windy through Thursday, Friday. Temperatures back closer to that seasonal high of 21. 21 degrees into Friday, 19 for Saturday. We'll start to get some clearing, and this sets us up for a ridge of high pressure to build in. And have a look at some of these numbers as we get into early next week. 29 for Monday, mainly sunny skies. Risk of thunderstorms late day Tuesday, and things sticking at 30 degrees into Wednesday. It's a friendly competition that brought university students from across Canada to New Brunswick. The task, Brittany, race in a boat made out of concrete.
Oh my goodness. The future engineers spent an entire year figuring out the perfect design and formula to keep their boats afloat while carrying up to 4 paddlers. Here's your daily lift.
How does one make concrete float?
It's definitely a tough one. It's hard to make concrete float on water.
We're here for the Canadian National Concrete Canoe Competition, and we're so excited to be here racing in the water.
This year we have 22 teams, so it's the biggest we've had in a long time, I believe forever actually.
The combination of a very, very low density concrete and a proper shaped hull is what causes all of the boats to float. You can do a lot of different, shapes and sizes as you see in the competition.
It's actually really interesting. Our concrete for our canoe, we make our mix in-house, and it's about 1/4 of the density of regular concrete, which is less dense than water. So this is why it floats.
Not only is it a competitive competition, but we're all here to have fun and learn from it, and work towards the next year.
Competition especially is a time where you learn the most. I have so many notes, it's not even funny.
You can spot the Ryder fan by the watermelon on their head. Love to see it, though. Having good fun.
Exactly. Lots of fun and probably lots of learning, too.
Right? Have a great night. We'll see you back here tomorrow.